Hello and welcome to this short screencast about the Delivery Toolkit. The Delivery Toolkit is a suite of applications developed by FoCul. In this presentation we're going to look at three of those applications. These are the Skills and Roles Manager, the Control Document Manager and the Activities Manager. I'm going to describe each of these and then we're going to actually look at the applications for real. So Skills and Roles Manager manages essentially training records, records of skills that people have. The Activities Manager is a module that pulls together all of the things that people have to do. So for instance, in the Skills and Roles Manager, if there's some training that you need to do, be it refresher or first time training, or maybe something that you have to validate, then that will appear in the Activity Manager. The next module that we have is the Document Manager, which manages the whole life cycle of documents from being draft to issued and superseded. And again, if there's something that you as an individual have to do in the document management system, then that also will create activities in the Activities Manager, so you can see all that you have to do in one place. And then the last part of this is that we can also feed actions from business applications into the Activities Manager. So for instance, if you have an existing health and safety reporting system that requires people to sign reports or complete actions, then these too can be fed into the Activities Manager so that you see everything that you have to do in one place. We're now going to look at the Skills and Roles Manager. Skills and Roles Manager has records for people, so there's one record for every person. It has records of all the skills that those people hold, and it also has a record of what roles those people hold. Now, we also have skill definitions which say when the roles are going to expire, as well as some other information such as who can deliver the training and who can validate the training. And we also have role definitions, so it will say that for a particular role, say on a particular chemical plant, the person must have particular skills. So the system can look at this collection of information and then it is able to highlight gaps in skills that need to be filled if the person is to hold the role that they have been given. And the system will generate these skills records, and these are called future skill records. We're now just going to speak very briefly about the Document Manager system and also the Activities Manager. Document Manager, it's quite a comprehensive system, but what it's trying to do is essentially very simple. It's about managing the whole life cycle of controlled documents in a secure, robust and efficient way. Part of what makes it efficient is that it's a self-service system. So if you are the person who is responsible for, say, an operating procedure, you should be able to create a new revision, have that issued for approval, and then revise it in the future, all without any input from any administrative people. And we do this by having approval routes, which are policy-driven approval routes, and they can be as complex as you want to make them. The Activities Manager, again, very simple concept, but very, very powerful. It's all about ensuring that all of the formal activities required of a person are visible, reportable, and manageable. Not just to the person, but also to the whole management team. So what this system does is it goes out and it scans through all of the different work processes and it pulls all of those activities back into one place. We're now within an application. So I've come into the Skills and Roles application. It's just a test system, and I'm pretending to be Callum Arnold. Whenever I come into the system, it immediately comes up with my records, and these are individual skill records. And these are for future. So what's happened here is that the system has looked at my roles, looked at the skills that I hold, and has determined that I need to do these future skill records, or more particularly the ones with the or next to them have been determined by a role. And if I scroll down through my records, you can see that I have ones which are mandatory for the future, I have some optional ones, and I have some live ones, and there's also some expired ones there as well. So if I now look at people records, so you can see that there's a record for each person. Again, if I go in and look at Mr. Arnold here, we can look and we can see their skill records, and we can also look and we can also see their role records. So if I go into this gels plant one here, I can click on the skill requirements, and we can see here that, for instance, warehouse dispatch routines is something that is mandated by the fact that he holds that role. So if we go back to his skill records, we come down, we can see that here it's a future skill because it's mandated by a role, or perhaps it's been automatically programmed in because it's about to expire. But what we can do is we can click in on that, which takes us to the particular skill record, and then we can also click here and we can see the other people that hold that skill record. So you can very quickly jump around from people to skills to roles and back to the skills again and see other people that hold those. The other thing that we can do with the roles as well is we can actually mandate that certain categories of control documents must be read by the holders of the role, which means that when a new, say, operating instruction is issued, then each person will get an activity to do, which is to read the document and to indicate that they have understood its contents and are happy to work to that new procedure. And we'll have a better look at that in a moment in the activities module. Just give you a very quick demonstration of how we can very quickly move around the system. So we can look at skills by team. Team is something that can be a very flexible feature that's within the system. So we can down here and we can say, right, well, who has, for instance, first land management training, or who can do level 1 and 2 auditing. We can look by the skills themselves. So what we tend to get, we get the sort of the course navigation here, and then finer navigation up at the top. So we can look by skill title. So I could look at, say, confined space authorizer awareness and see who's done that. Again, I can look at the role records and see who holds what kind of role records. And I'm also able to download all of this information into Excel. Now we're looking at the document manager. It's a very comprehensive system, but to the user it appears to be very straightforward. So here we're looking at published documents by category, but we could look at them by owner or by revision due date. You can see they're color coded. So the ones that are overdue are red, the ones that are due in the next 30 days are amber. To go back to by category, and we can go down to say operations, primary, batch weighing. We can open up an individual document, and the actual instruction itself is in this attachment here, but this is the record card for the document. It tells us who the owner is. The whole system is uses roles for this kind of thing, so that for instance, if Adrian left, then we can change that name in the role record for the primary production leader, and that will get cascaded through this system. So we have revision history, we have document security, who can change and who can read the document. We have the approval processes set here, and there's also an audit history as well. So very quickly find any control document that we want to. We're now going to look at the Activities Manager module, and just to recap, we saw this slide earlier. Anything that you need to do from the Skills and Roles Manager application, so that would be skills that you had to do or maybe validations that you had to carry out, gets captured in Activities Manager. Any documents that you need to review or approve or read also gets captured in the Activities Manager. So for instance, if you're an operator on a particular chemical plant and you have a role that says you need to read the operating instructions for that chemical plant, every time a new operating instruction gets issued, you have an activity to read that document and to say that you have understood it, and that is absolutely traceable down to the individual and allows managers to manage by exception. And as well as that, any other business applications that you already have, they can be adapted to work with this system. So for instance, if you have an existing SHE reporting system, the actions and report approvals, etc., will appear in the Activities Manager. So the Activities Manager is about showing that everything that somebody has to do in one place to make it easier for both themselves and for the management team to manage those activities. In the Activities Manager, and when we first open up the Activities Manager, we see all of the activities that we personally have to do. We can also click on live activities, and we can look at these by person. So let's look at this here, and we can see they're color coded. The red ones are overdue and the yellow ones are due soon. This is quite an old copy of the application. We can also look at them by source, and we can see that we have documents here that need approval, so that's automatically being created from document management system. Documents that need to be read, and they need to be read because we hold a role that requires us to read that category of documents. So if I go in here, you can see that this document here, control document read item number BF chromic acid from Elementis Corpus Christi, and if I click on this link, then it will open up that document, and then there's a button at the top where I say that I have read and understood this document. So every person that needs to read a document needs to click on this button, and both they and the management team can see that, that they've read everything that they're meant to read. Of course, we can export all of these activities out into Excel and can create graphs and such like as we want to. So very, very powerful system. Just to emphasize that all of these activities have been created in the system automatically. However, if you do want to create documents, then there's a little sidebar here. You can put in the name of the activity, the target date, what the details are, put in some tags, and then we can pull in people, and we can say select these people, and we can hit generate activities, and those people will have an activity created for them to do whatever it is that we've asked them to do. So it can be fully automatic, or we can add in activities as well. So that concludes our screencast on the Delivery Toolkit. We've looked at the Skills and Roles Manager, which is an application that allows you to manage training records, both historical ones and ones for the future. It also manages roles, and because it knows about roles and skills or training records, it can automatically highlight the gap in the skills that people currently hold for the roles that they're meant to be competent to do. We've looked at the Control Document Manager, which allows people to very robustly and efficiently manage the issue of controlled documents. And we've looked at the Activities Manager, and the Activities Manager is able to pull together all of the formal activities that people are required to do into one place so that they can be managed by the individuals and by the management team. And we've seen how these three systems link together, and also how the Activities Manager can link with existing applications within your organization. If you'd like any more information, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can get us via our website, which is shown on the screen there, www.deliverytoolkit.com. Thanks very much.